Yeah. I just realized the logo's backwards on this sticker for them. My bad, y'all.
Every time I do this, it's always different. All right, babe, can you come over here and get this? Why'd you turn that off? What's going on?
Okay.
David!
I need to get behind you. Thank you.
Ryan! Jimmy! J-Mac! Nate Strong! Noah Pratt! Jacob! Trevor! Amber! David Larkin! Michael Xavier himself! JD! Mark Hasil! What is going on, guys? Glad you could make it. Greg! Tree Trunk Greg! Curtis! He says, I am here. Damn right you here, Curtis. You better be here. Jay, gangsters. Frank, what up, guys? Jeremy said, I'm ready for a great show. As you notice, we're somewhere a little different today. We're in a different part of the room. We're in a whole nother galaxy right now. Can anyone guess what music was playing? Can anyone? I'll give you a hint. It was an Arnold movie. It was an Arnold movie. Arnold smoking the stogies because last week was 420 and he loves $4,000 stogies. Let's see if anyone gets it. Come on, someone's got to get it. Cough. It's not a Kuma. It's not a kindergarten cop. It's not a kindergarten cop. Jimmy says, is it Conan? It did have. That's why I said it sounded like another similar one, but Ryan Gonzalez. He got it right. That's what it is. Total recall. Total recall. 3 boobs. I watched it with my son this week. I totally forgot about the 3 boobs. I didn't fast forward. My son's seen 3 boobs. Down you.
You know what, though? In this case, I don't think 3 boobs are better than 2. In this case.
No,
I prefer 2.
They were a little
I prefer
odd.
2.
They were.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
what's going on?
yeah. Are we ready
Is
to
it
start
time?
the show? Hey, I think it's time. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, guys. It's now time for the Legion's Lair. I'm Mike Casper.
I'm Brad Jones. We're happy you're here. I see there's a lot of people. They're commenting. I love when people comment and talk. It's awesome. Look, talk about your new location. Yes, once again, yeah, obviously if you haven't noticed, we're in a new location. We're in the midst of probably ripping up the floor. We have carpet. And one of our cats was bad and peed in my toy room. Not good.
The Lair.
The Lair.
The Lair
It tried to
got
mark. It tried.
pissed on.
You tried to mark its territory in the goddamn Lair. You can't do that.
Hell no, because you got
can't do that.
You got, well, I mean, shit, you got Gorgo in there?
R.I.P. Yeah, that is, yeah, exactly.
You can't do that crap.
Yeah, so that wasn't good. So we put some stuff down to get rid of the smell. I had no idea that it was going to. I mean, we could either been smelling chemicals or cat pee, and this way we're not smelling either.
So,
because the cat pee's gone and now it's just chemicals. And but we're in another room from the house where I have kind of taken over my wife's room, which she always complains about. But that's what the cats are up there. She has her little rainbow brights and all that stuff. So, but behind us is another custom Mythic Legions. I got Seventh Kingdoms. So I got some He-Man classics up here. So we still have a little bit of the Lair going on. And then next to me I have, you can't see, but it's just a huge cabinet of Ninja Turtles.
it's a lot of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's like three of these cabinets behind me. So, and we were either going to do that or this, so we chose this little guy behind me, and we're making it work. And who knows, we might be here again in the future because of the flooring. I'd rather have it hard floor like Jeremy has on his, I can't go to my basement, but if I had a harder floor, a wood floor, it would be better than carpet, because sometimes stuff does wobble and shake, and it's not good. Not good. Litter Lair.
It needs to be the litter
They got
layer.
that Litter Lair. They was pissing in the Litter Lair.
What
Yeah.
news do we have, buddy?
Let's see. I got some stuff. What did you got?
Well,
Should
let's
we
do
What
news first.
Oh, what news you got though?
Well, we got the Cosmic Pre-order gonna end
that's
May
coming
1st.
up. That's my birthday. So
May 1st.
you better just send the money my way for my birthday. Screw those figures. No, definitely go out, get those figures. Those are awesome.
We went 2 all-ins each, correct?
2,
Yeah.
I talked him into it. I'm thinking it's a good choice to start off with. Obviously, if you're going to be going to the shows, which we hope we will be, well, that stuff should be ready, available for us if we want more.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
we're happy with our 2 now, and if things are, looking good, then we'll go more.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going with.
Then the other big news. The other big news is All-Stars 5 is going to drop sometime in late July, from my understanding. So we do not have another pre-order till late July, which is very good for everybody's wallet, especially mine.
It is. Of course, I'm like, bring it on. Arnold says, bring it on. I'll pay for it right now. Give me the options.
Casper says, I need a break.
I
Thank
hear
you,
you.
Four
I hear you.
Horsemen,
Yeah,
for
it's
the
cool.
break.
We appreciate it. I mean, what JD Gibbs says, 2 all-ins here. Woot, woot. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, what'd you get, buddy?
I'm always getting stuff,
Okay.
but I went deep in the Four Horsemen, and I got me a Magma Corpse figure, still in the packaging, signed by the Four Horsemen at that time. So it's signed by Cornboy, Jim, Eric, and I do believe Chris, not the Chris everybody's thinking of, but
The old horseman.
The old horseman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I seen it and I thought, you know what, this is kind of cool. So I went ahead on a limb there, and I went on some history there.
Wow.
And it's in the cabinet actually behind me down there with the other signed Lord Viteris and Jeremy Gerard figure I got. So
That's
got a
awesome.
few little signed things, but that's what I got. That's what I'm dealing with. I opened my Ramathor. I forgot to post it. Maybe I'll post it later this week or Instagram it or something.
Nice.
But what about you?
I got Chris Davis's Fountain Dio-In. Brandon, my son, and I did a review.
I've seen
So
that.
that's going to be on our Legion's Lair Facebook channel under Brad's name.
Hashtag, yep.
if you want to check out that review, check it out. We also did his Fire Dio.
That was cool.
Now, Brandon and I are going to do some new reviews here coming up. Nemai's column, we're going to review that.
Yeah.
We're also going to review Struck Family Crafts, their Necromancer, and their Wizard soft goods. So we're going to do that. But what I got other than that, I went heavy on the Grails. They finally came in. Rod Martin on the Cabal hooked me up, and I'm going to have to read what I got here.
Notes.
They all came in at once. Sir Gideon Heavensbrand, Bothor Shadowhorn, Scarletros, Malatard the Duck, the Heavensbrand Sword, and I got Urku.
Jesus.
So I got a lot of Grails.
Thank you, Rod Martin.
Yes, and he hooked me up for great prices, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a list.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
I'm still 14 away.
So the
5 of
birds
them
are
being
good,
Legion
though.
built.
So you officially have all the birds in hand.
I got all the birds.
All the birds in hand. That is a good accomplishment.
Yeah. Got all
You know
of
what I
them.
did forget? I did get a Romulus from Miguel Munoz from the Cabal, I do believe. I think is who I got that from. I've been buying a lot of stuff from people. I bought from David and somebody else. But yeah, I did get a Romulus. I was like, you know what? I know we're getting him, but it was a really good price, I felt like. And I thought, you know, I might use him for a custom right now. So
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys, from what the Horsemen hinted at. Not the Horsemen, but what Jeremy Gerard, Joe Vassapolo, Chris Garwich, what they hinted at, as far as I can tell, was Romulus, Silverhorn Sentry, and Ilgar. We should be getting those figures, All Stars 5. Everything else is a surprise, but for the head pack.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I knew Romulus was going to be a given, but at the same time, I just didn't want to wait. I thought, I'm doing this. Somebody said, is that the Puke Bowl?
Why is the Royal Bowl?
Send for the Royal Bowl! Oh, it's right here. Of course, the Legion's Lair is going to be backwards. But this is the Royal Bowl. You might see it through the day here, or through the night.
What's the significance?
In here, the executive... Oh, I'm scared, Lord Jesus. The executive producer, Lauren Jones, has put down what the fans have said, what they like about our show. They have messaged her. She has written it down on here. So if you message my wife, it's possible it could be in here. I have not looked at these. She said some of them are funny. So maybe some of you wrote some funny stuff. And we're going to, later on, read some of these as we ask questions through our guest.
That'd be fun.
So we'll go back and forth and do stuff.
That's a good segue. Who do we got on tonight?
Someone giving away an Unkin. Don't you wish we had a whole freaking box of Unkins back here? God damn you!
That would be nice. That would be nice. And Geltises.
Me and Mike, we were going overseas. We were on a boat. We seen a crate. We said, this is the shipment they lost years ago.
We're going to take it.
That would be amazing.
We got the X-Man on tonight.
Yes!
Michael Xavier, we're going to get him on in a second. Michael is a Mythic Legion collector.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll get into it when we introduce him, but I found out over the last 2 weeks of advertisements that Michael is loved in this community.
Oh, of course he is.
He is a good dude.
And he's a 2021 intern.
Yes, he sure is.
He's a part of the 2021 intern.
So I'm going to see if I can't get Mike on here.
Let's bring him on. Solid guy. He is a solid guy. Mr. X. Mike is a legend. Damn right he is. Okay, we gotta get Mike is the best. Yes, he is, Mr. Miller. You are too, Mr. Miller. You ain't bad yourself there, buddy, old pal.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
What up, guys?
What up? Woo!
What's going on, Mike, Brad? Hi, Lauren.
What up?
Great to have the X-Man in here.
Uh-oh. She's fixing stuff.
She's fixing stuff for us, Michael.
Oh.
We got an earthquake here.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Good?
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
I can't see him, though.
You can see him over there.
Look. I can see him right here.
Sorry, we're trying to charge Brad's phone a little bit because he
No
forgot
problem.
to charge it.
I did. I was a big dummy.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Unplug it.
Okay.
Mike goes, hey, what's your phone at? You can take
Mine?
it out. There you go.
That's awesome.
Mike goes, what's your phone at? And I go, I don't know, 50%. And I go, uh-oh, it's like almost time for the show. Okay. So thanks.
You're welcome. Farewell.
This is going to be an episode for the ages. J-Mac, that is right.
So I'm going to introduce Michael here before we do anything. Michael, we met you at Intern for a Day. Everybody was amazing there. The whole Mythic weekend. You were amazing too. We loved spending time with you as well as everybody else there. But what I didn't realize is you are very loved on the Cabal. You help out a lot of people. And you're mainly a collector, correct?
Yeah. Before we get started, I'm getting like really bad. So I'm back here.
What's that?
I'm getting really.
He's getting feedback.
Gotcha. Are you using Bluetooth? Bluetooth?
Nothing. I'm just straight.
Okay. How about? No, my phone's not on. How about we have you go out and come back in? Maybe that'll help.
I'll do.
Well, now that we don't have that in the way, it'll be a lot simpler and straighter. Okay, now. Sorry, Trevor, we don't have special equipment like you. Trevor said, real professional, Brad. Down you, Trevor.
How's it now, Mike?
Everything sounds good now.
Oh, yeah. Actually, he sounds better, too.
Hey, and you know who figured that shit out?
Was it you?
Me. And I know nothing about
We
technology.
don't tech. We don't
Technology, take that.
We don't tech.
Woo! Okay, man. Well, I'm gonna reintroduce you, man. You
You don't
are.
have to take through it all, man. You don't have to do it all over again. That was really.
Okay. But
important,
what
man. Thank you.
surprised me, I guess it shouldn't surprise me. People really respond to you. They really love you on the Cabal. You must help a ton of people. You helped me get Rhaegar, if you recall.
Oh, listen, that's just fun for me, man. I genuinely enjoy living vicariously through people like getting the figures that they want to get. Like, to me, that's just fun. That's not. It's not like I mailed you a Rhaegar. You know, you bought your Rhaegar, but I enjoyed helping you at least hunt one down.
Yeah, exactly. You linked him up to where he
Oh,
wanted
absolutely.
to go.
And it was a great price, man, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, you can't beat when you.
It always feels good though when you do something like that for somebody. If you see something, somebody wants it. I mean, you could have just kept scrolling, or you would say, hey, I see something, or I'll go tag somebody, or I'll do something for somebody.
Oh, dude, I've dived in the DMs of people I've never spoken to before. Like, hey, man, so you're looking for this one? Okay, can I help you? It's just, I don't know. That excitement that I've felt over the last couple of years collecting this line. And I mean, at one point there was just figures coming to the house, a couple times a week. Mike, that haul that you just got is like ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
something like that I might have spread over a couple days, or if I ever got one big, like how excited were you to get that package? Like I like seeing other people experience that, and then when it comes in, they're like, "Oh, dude, you're right. This figure's awesome." I'm like, yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like getting a haul like that. When you get something like that, I mean that's pretty epic. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Those
gotta like
ball-
you gotta enjoy those when they come in, especially when they're that. I mean that's a nice. I'm jealous of
Yep.
you, man. even like when I see like people like grab stuff that I might have already, I'm like, oh man, like just to experience that again. It sounds crazy, but it's like it's a little bit of a rush, a little bit of a high with that.
That's cool though. I mean, yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying with certain figures. When you see somebody else get it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember how I was when I got that figure, because that was
Yeah, think
epic.
about how excited you guys are, like when you get a figure you want. But when it's one that's it's been ducking you forever. You keep missing out on the auction, or somebody posts one in the cabal, and you're always like one or two people too late. Like how many times does that happen to us? How much sweeter is it when it's one that you've been like? Well, Mike, you told me Rhaegar, like you really wanted him. Like we got to get it for him, man. Like that's
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's nothing like that feeling, man. And then knowing people helped you get the figure. I mean, what a community. I gush over this community all the time, but everything I say is 100% true.
absolutely.
About the community. So we have a little different show gonna go on tonight, Michael. As I ask you questions, I'm gonna ask you a question, and in between each question, after you answer them, we're gonna pick out of the Royal Bull a comment from a viewer on what they like about the show and just read it, and then I'm gonna go on to the next question. You down with that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you the first question. We're going to get started. Once again, we're going to go way back in Michael Xavier's history. And basically, this first question is, what got you into adult toy collecting?
I kind of never really stopped for like a long amount of time. I've been collecting, like most of us, we collected as kids. And even when I took like a hiatus and slowed down, I mean, I was probably still buying like one toy a month or something like that. Like casual stroll through like Toys R Us and see something like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I might pick it up, and it probably just went into storage for a couple of years and not necessarily opened, but I never really got out of collecting. And I was also really big into comics. Like I never really stopped collecting those either. And they're kind of adjacent. They go hand in hand. So I might have been collecting comics more at one time than figures, or vice versa. But, I kind of just never left that. And then maybe I would say around 2012, I got into like taking pictures of them. And that's really when I started opening up my stuff. Because for a long time, I just kept stuff. I was like an inbox collector.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a lot of us. That's interesting, Michael, because a lot of us, as we get into our teen years and all that, we stop collecting the figures, and then we start up again. For you to just continue to go, that's unique.
Oh yeah.
There was definitely like a slowdown. I mean, it's not like I was like in college, like going on dates and like, hey, hold on, like, let me run into this Toys R Us real quick. But it, just casually, like if I happen to be out, and like I've never not gone into the toy aisle of a store. You know what I mean? Like when Toys R Us closed down, I still was like strolling into, like if I was in Kmart or Walmart or something, like I always ran through the toy aisle. And if I happen to see something that caught my eye, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I would just kind of go from there. Really, when I started like buying a ton of them again, where it was like actively buying, was with Marvel Legends, probably back in after Hasbro took them over. I feel like the quality kind of went down a little bit, but then when they did the return of them, they started doing like newer characters. The articulation started getting better. I kind of got into the line heavy again, and that was like my main line for a long time. I was like this little articulation snob, and I remember when the Kickstarter was announced for Mythic Legions, I was like, damn, like those are beautiful. But that articulation snob me was like, but they don't really look like they got much movement in the torso or the single joints. Like I was such a clown, bro.
Oh, man. I'm
It's one
gonna
of those
go
things that when they're in hand,
second
you're like,
question.
oh.
before we pick out of the bowl, because this one deals with your history too. Why Four Horsemen Studios? One, you kept on collecting as an adult. What got you into Four Horsemen specifically?
So I'm one of those people that had Four Horsemen figures, Four Horsemen design figures without really knowing that. I collected the Spawn figures like a lot of you guys when they first came out. I remember when those dropped. Like those were kind of like the first toys that to me didn't really look like toys anymore. You know what I mean? The detail in them, like they definitely looked geared more toward like an older collector. And I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. It wasn't until years later that I found out that, you know, the Horsemen were involved in the design of those things. And you're like, oh, dang, he did this. You know, Eric did this one. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you just find out later on, there's so much stuff that people have in their collection that like they don't even realize like that they did. Like the NECA Ninja Turtles, the Mirage Turtles that they did.
Yeah.
Of those figures for the longest time, they're so sick. Had no clue that the Four Horsemen did them until a couple years down the road. I was like, oh man, like now it makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't realize even now they were still helping out. I thought they had stopped helping other, companies out, and until we were at Intern, and like I said, I seen some Super 7 stuff over there, and Jim's like, no, sorry, no.
Jeremy Gerard calls it on the website Horsemen for Hire when they do the articles on that.
Yeah. And then it came out later that hey, we're doing these figures, And I was like, oh yeah, we were there. We were in the printing room.
Yeah.
And
how cool is that, right?
Yeah, and I actually seen that, it was kind of cool. And I had no idea they were still helping out like that. So it's cool to know that.
I did like the DC Universe Classics for a long time. Had no idea that they were designing those. I don't know. I think they did the whole time, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But if they didn't do the whole thing, like they did a ton of them, and like that was one of my favorite lines for the time too.
Nice. Well, we're gonna pull the first Royal Bowl.
You gonna?
Am I gonna? I think Arnold should.
I'm gonna pull one out. It's from J Mac. J Mac says, my favorite part of the show is how real they are, and of course, Arnold. Well, J Mac, we appreciate you, and I see he was in here earlier, so thank you much.
Thanks, Jay. Michael, what is your favorite Four Horsemen studio line to date? I mean, we can go way back to Figure Obscura. Anything. What's your favorite line of theirs?
I bet you could bet a paycheck on it and you'll probably get it right.
I know it's the ML. It's got to be.
Absolutely. There's no question. All that stuff I was talking about before, being a long-term collector, I've sold or traded so much of it away just to do things.
Yes. I
have other stuff in this room. Like you'll see some other stuff like when we go around, but like 90% of this collection room is Legions like on display. Like forget my favorite Four Horsemen line. Probably it's my favorite toy line.
And I see you got Nate's artwork already in the background there.
Finally, I picked it up at Legions Con. I finally got it framed.
Yeah. I think Mike, you got them as well.
Yep. I sure did.
Now, did you have Nate sign those?
I did.
Awesome. I think Mike did too. Yeah. That was awesome.
It's crazy, Mike, how the Horsemen will surround themselves with fan talent. And these fans, talent-wise, are absolutely probably equal, if not better, than anybody else in the toy industry. It's amazing. There's so much talent in this community.
I like to see the fans transition into the company. I think that's awesome. You look at how they got their origins and all those guys, like they knew each other and they started the company, to see people that, are like you or me, that are huge fans of them segue into actually working for them. I mean, Jeremy's done it. Joe is in there. To see Trevor be like the official photographer for them, like how cool is it?
It is.
Yeah, and they're all top of their game. I mean, I don't know, honest to God, I don't know of anybody out there who is better at taking photographs necessarily than Trevor Williams. I don't know of anybody out there who's better at packaging art than Nate Barch, and it could go on and on. They're just picking. The fans are so talented, and they're taking these fans, and it's. I think Eric says it's like a symbiotic relationship. It's like a big circle with the fans. It's amazing.
Nate Strong takes us some pretty good pictures too. Nate Strong.
There's no shortage of good photographers, and I mean one of my favorites, probably my favorite to be honest with you, Noah Pratt. Yeah. I mean it goes without saying. Look, he's a great painter. His dios are like, I don't know if people realize like how multi-talented he is. You know, also I love his photos. I love his.
Yeah, good dude. Totally good dude.
Nice.
I still remember seeing Noah in the lobby at our hotel. We were talking to, I think we were getting our sack lunches for breakfast or something. He was over there, sitting down, and he just started bullshitting with us. Didn't even really know us. The next thing you know, we're like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, very personable guy. I got to know a bunch of you guys at Legion's Con, and it was awesome. And he's one of the guys I talked to beforehand. You know, we DM back and forth a little bit, and you know, getting to meet him was, you know, it was one of my bucket list things. You know, Joe Russo, Eric Miller, you know, Wyatt got me my Otho when I was looking for an Otho. You know, being able to like hang out with these people. You know, Sean, the Shrub family, like that. Yeah, it was so cool, guys. It was so. I don't even want to leave anybody out because I'm sure, like I am.
Well, and the nice thing about it is we get to do it again.
Oh yes.
And it's coming up in what, 6 months?
Yeah.
I'm local.
So it's not too far away,
No.
and that's going to be awesome. So
no, I'm hoping that because we did get snow on the way back. We did coming back, so hopefully it was great all the way until like 3 hours or into the drive back home. So hopefully it's all good weather-wise.
Fingers crossed for that.
we're going to take another one out of the Royal Bowl, Mike. Here we go. I got Vanimal Johnson.
Van Johnson.
Here we go, Van Johnson. I enjoy the figure profile for each show, the figure review. And tonight, Van, you got Unkin coming at you. Michael, Caspilar, and Bradamon are going to
ready, guys. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's got his picture. Yes.
Thanks, Van.
Oh, here. I'll take the bad ones. I'll put all the old ones here.
When dealing with your collecting, Michael, would you say you're more of a completist or casual collector? And then after that, if you could answer for us, are you more of a mint on card collector, or do you take them out of their plastic prisons?
Both?
I'm not. Yeah, I do both, and I didn't intend to do both. And yeah, completionist all the way. Like, there's one figure I need, and I'm not grabbing it anytime soon because I'm just being super stubborn about it.
Well, I thought you. I swear, I thought you had completed it. Which figure are you needing?
One more, man.
One figure.
One
But
more.
you're not going to give it up. You're not going to tell us.
And for that, no, I'm going to tell you, it's on my my least favorite Legions list. Probably heavily because it's still.
Oh, okay.
So it's Fastia. You don't have Fastia. That's cool, man. I totally understand why you don't have Fastia.
No, I
know it's not Fastia.
for the 2.0, I dig her. I dig her color scheme.
Okay.
I feel you.
Nice.
So I guess we'll get to that question here in a minute.
Now it'll be one of the ones off the worst list.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, I guess that answers the 200 out of all the figures in the Legion's line. You have all of them, but for one.
So let me specify. I'm missing the Silver Knight. If you want to talk about Ethrin's dozen, I did purchase the entire wave. I got very lucky on eBay early on in my Legions collecting. I didn't want to pay big money for an Etron himself, and I really wanted Drayleon. So I purchased the whole wave, and I wound up selling them off to kind of offset the price. I couldn't justify in my head. I was like, at the time, I couldn't justify dropping like $300 on a figure, and I was like, I'll just buy the whole thing and I'll sell them off. So I kept Drayleon and I kept Aetheron, and I sold the rest of the birds. So if you want to hold me to the birds, I am missing one figure plus 11 figures from the bird wave.
From the Aetherons dozen.
Yes.
Gotcha. But
yeah, a lot of people like kind of. I did too. I totally bypassed those birds. I was like, man, them birds ain't shit.
So that way, they are Mythic Legions, but
they are
being repaints of from a previous line.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some
yeah.
You know, like they started out as like what got the Tropolis figures, right?
Yeah, well, they did, but most of the head sculpts are original.
So you had new tooling on the heads, and the bodies were carryover.
Yeah.
So I technically, if you want to have the whole line, I think you need to say you have the whole thing. Because to me, if you don't have Aetheron, you don't have the entire line. So I guess you have to include the rest of the wave. You know, because that's so core to the lore. So you have to include Aetheron, right? So
yeah. I guess, yeah.
Well, and
but other than that, you're only one actual figure.
Oh, there's like between 1.0 and 2.0 figures, there's one figure.
Gotcha.
And he's on the worst list.
Nice. Do you want to pick from the Royal Bowl?
The Royal Bowl. I got a question. I want to like.
We'll do it right after this. Let's roll.
Oh, Noah Pratt.
My man.
Noah Pratt says, my favorite part is the dynamic Mike and Brad share. They are perfect balance, and the fact that you, Lauren, have to herd those cats. Woo! We thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah Pratt. That was a good.
Hey, you guys have a good energy, man. It's positive.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Mike.
No, I was gonna ask Mike what started you in collecting as a child? What was your toy as a kid? What made you go play? What you know? If you were in your room and it was playtime, what action figure or what line were you going to?
I'm a child of the 80s, so I grew up with a lot of those classic lines. Motu is the oldest figures that I really remember having like the most of. Like I remember having Motu before I could really talk. And, yeah, pictures of me like crawling on the floor with like a Motu handling. You're just like, oh god, like you're destroying it. I was big into Thundercats. I was big into GI Joe. And then later on in the 80s, early 90s, I transitioned into Ninja Turtles. Had my love with that, and all the comic book stuff, man. The Marvel and DC stuff, like Batman. You know, big X-Men fan. So, for those who don't know, Xavier is not my legal name. Like, that's not my last name. I go by that because when I joined the Cabal, I came in as Uncanny X-Man. I wasn't using my real name at all. And somebody, I don't know if it was in the Cabal. I doubt it was in the Cabal. I don't think anybody cared. I think it was in a NECA group, to be honest with you. We're all like, they get like little testy in there. Somebody reported me and Facebook was like, oh, that's not your legal name. You can't use it. And I was like, who are you to tell me? And they actually they told me if that's your name, you have to send us a photo ID showing us that that's your name. I was like, oh, okay. So I changed it to Michael Xavier, which is still not my legal name. And they didn't require ID for that. So.
Oh, thank God.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Xavier comes from the connection because my Instagram was Uncanny X-Man too. So I kind of wanted to tie the two together. And now it's just all Michael Xavier. If you've ever gotten a package from me, then you got my real last name.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Gotcha. That is
cool.
Nice. I always thought it was Xavier. Look how funny.
Well, we'll still call him X-Man.
Yeah.
Well, my wife calls me Michael Javier. She likes to make fun of my alter ego. Because I had gotten rid of Facebook for years. Like, she was busting my balls to like get a Facebook again because she's like, oh, I guess I'm married to nobody. Like, I guess you don't exist. But I had like some crazy ex-girlfriends that were like doing the cyber stalking thing, like true story, when I was getting married. And I was like, I just got rid of my social media altogether. And I was like,
that too.
Yeah. Carlo says, I chewed on my Motu heads.
I have some of those, man. I have a Stratos with the fingers. They're all like munched on.
That's great, man.
Yeah, you may have gotten it from Immortal Collection. That's funny. That's awesome. I probably chewed on a few myself.
I'm gonna go dip into the Royal Bowl there, partner.
We're getting low on the no.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Is Ramirez. And of course he's the namesake to Is Ramirez, the figure.
The figure, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful bird from Gothropolis. My favorite part of the show is here it is. My favorite part of the show is that the hosts are from Ohio and they're Buckeyes. Is that what it says? No, it doesn't say that is. Okay. My favorite part of the show is when the hosts mispronounce the name Guillermo.
It's Guillermo.
Guillermo. No L sound.
See, I thought it was like gyro, gyro.
By the way,
Gyro, gyro.
get to the next con, I'm rioting. I'm burning the place down if Guillermo doesn't come.
Oh yeah, and actually,
people like I've spoken to him on the side lots of times. Like that guy does so much on the sneak, and he's probably gonna get pissed off that I'm saying this. Like anything good he does, like he doesn't want credit for it. Like at all, he'd be like he just here, I'm gonna donate this. Like just don't tell him I did. He's a good guy, man. And like I say, he's probably gonna be pissed that I said that. But he deserves credit. He's a nice guy.
In the future, and we'll have him on, and we'll have a good time with him because he's always on the cabal. He reminds me of Ron Martin. He's commenting on everything. He's liking everybody's stuff. He's communicating with everybody, and it's awesome.
Okay, Michael, you are getting in the hot seat right now.
All right.
You're on the hot seat. You're ready for the hot seat questions. Here we go.
Oh, I like this one.
Top 5 favorite. We want you to start with number 5, go to 4, all the way down to 1. You're up.
Right. I wrote it down so that I didn't fumble this.
Yes. He's like LeBron. He's ready.
Yeah, but I'm also super complicated. So like, there's not just 5 simple answers, right? Like I have to like.
That's fine. We like it.
So, all right. This is probably gonna piss off some people, but at least he's on the list, Scott.
Nope.
The dwarf people always get angry for some reason because the dwarves are never included. There is a dwarf on my list, all right, but he's in the number 5. All right. This is a twofold answer. So I feel my true number 5 is Thord, right? But he gets a bonus. Well, let me give you the good first. His coloring is awesome, right? Love the super unique head sculpt. When you have a dwarf without a helmet on his head, like that's pretty rare in the line. So very cool. He gets bonus points though because he's super rare and he's very, very hard to get. So it's hard for me. Like if I had to sell my collection tomorrow, I feel like there's another dwarf that's probably a better figure, but I wouldn't sell Thord before that figure. Does that make sense? So Thord is my number 5, but I feel like Bromden is a better figure. I feel like you get more with Bromden. I feel like his face sculpt, the beard is just.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So my number 5 is Thord, but I could make a show. Bromden is just so much more common, so it's hard for me to. I can't really put him on that list because I'd probably have to sell a whole lot of more figures to get a Thord than I would. It's a lot easier for me to replace Bromden, right? So Thord, but I got you, Bromden.
Like I said, he wasn't on the All Stars, but he was there, but he didn't make it. But he's marinating. He's marinating.
So that's like the whole thing, like with the All Stars, right? So I understand why people don't necessarily vote for a figure like that because, all right, you can, not that $100 is cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than $400 or $500, right? So you want to kind of vote in a 1.0 figure or an original Kickstarter figure that hasn't had a re-release yet because you don't want to pay $300-$400 for an Elgar. So it doesn't make sense to not know. And I think of other people too when I think about the voting and stuff.
But see, you're talking to collectors or completists. So we totally agree with you on that. Where somebody's like, oh no, I want that figure because I want all those parts or whatnot. Where we're like, the value of that figure, we're still on the values because that's we bought these figures. We know the markets and whatnot, and that's part of our thing. Even though we may not get rid of them, it's nice knowing that, hey, this figure's valued or something. That's how I am, at least.
Right. And it's not like Thor is only on my list because he's rare. Like he's a beautiful dwarf. But if he let's say if he was as readily available as Bromden, I don't know if I'd put him above Bromden. I love Bromden's color scheme, the black with the gold. The crown is a beautiful. Like who else in the line really has that? He's got the multiple head. He a lot of boxes, man.
Yeah. But now,
my Thor is number 5. So I told you, my answers are complicated. All right.
No, they're fine. No, they're great.
Number 4 is also a complicated one, right? Urzak, super rare.
It's a great figure.
Probably not seeing it released again. Like they've hinted at a 2.0, I think. But what do I know? I don't know anything. But fully armored up orc. Love the fact that he's got the war paint on his face. However, in terms of value, like for what you're getting, Vorthog is like one of the best figures they've done in the line, man. The amount of value, and if you're new and you're just starting and you're like, I don't want to pay $80 for that figure, go pay $80 for that figure now, please, before he's like $500 and you're yelling at people for scalping you. Like, go buy that figure, man. It is an awesome figure. Like, it's an orc with 2 sets of feet, multiple sets of hands. He's got multiple heads. So if you want to army build him, like there were no green orcs available when I started. If you wanted a green orc, a Legion builder, like $150. So when Vorthog was up for pre-order, I pre-ordered a bunch of them.
And I see people using his torso on a lot of stuff.
That new torso, best piece.
That torso's fire.
Yep, the Magnus Vorthog torso is beautiful, and you get a little bit more range with it, I think, than the regular one torso. So Urzak again.
I'm a horn dog for Vorthog.
Van Johnson said he's a horn dog for Vorthog. Number 3, my man.
All right, number 3. All right, this one's not complicated. The Barbarian Builder. If you don't own a Barbarian Builder, get you a Barbarian Builder. It is hands down. That was the first big grail I bought. And I remember thinking to myself, why am I spending this much money on a toy? And then I got him. And now with like the reinforcements wave, and we were able to buy a bunch of them cheap, I'm still not mad that I paid as much as I did for the first Barbarian I got. It's still a good figure.
I agree with you. That was he was up in one of my top ones that was like that I had to have, that was expensive, like you said, Grail. But then when I got it, it's like, oh yeah, because I think he was the first one I actually got in the builder packaging.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, it's like wow, there's a lot of crap in this. You got a lot of shit in this thing.
Yeah, and the Horsemen have come out and said that is their best-selling figure of all time. The Barbarian Builder. Yeah.
Like it had like an accidental release, I think. Weren't they supposed to be like making like a run of the females, but they did the males?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm probably butchering that. But
no, you're right. You're
it's
correct.
Multiple runs. I have a couple friends who were not Mythic Legions collectors, and I've been trying to get them into it for like a year or two. If they're watching this, Doug, Manny, I'm talking to you. Mike Jarrett's been in the Cabal a little while longer, but he's another one I told. When the reinforcement sale went up, I was like, get yourselves the Barbarian. Because a couple guys they did their order already, like, this is what I got. And I was like, how do you not have a Barbarian on there? Like, trust me. And they were like, oh, dude, you were right. This is awesome.
Gotta have it. It's a must.
Get just one, right? You need at least 2 Barbarians so that you can make, different display options. Or maybe you need to max it and get all 12 that they allowed you to get.
Yeah, the only thing I maxed out on was Templars.
Oh, you did the max on the Templar.
I did the max on the Templars because I got a plan for those. I seen Greg's little Dio with all his Templars. And I'm like, dude, I gotta get me Templar. As soon as I seen his Dio, I was like, I'm getting Templars. I'm getting the whole army of them some bitches. I was like, you can just you just take the heads off and put a different head on all of them, just have an army.
Oh, Templars are the best Lazy Boy customs. Or listen, you go to Legion
I'm telling you,
already painted. Because if you're somebody like me who can't paint, get one of those ones already painted, throw it on.
Like, man.
Instant
So yeah, people are wanting them. I'm like, no, they're not for sale. I got plans for these.
I just traded away my last Horseman Templar that I had in the box to someone in the Cabal.
Well, that was cool.
They had a Vampire Knight available, and I would normally never make that trade, but with the Alethea wave coming, I'm like, I need another Vampire.
Yeah.
I got no.
I mean, you're real close to owning it all. I noticed when I completed it, it did relieve some stress, but then like now I just feel like I pick up little figures here and there when I want. I'm not stressed over, hey, I got to get this, or hey, I got to get this. I mean, it's
not at all.
You know, I'm sure with you were just your one. You know, you're like, okay, when that comes around, it'll come.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sweating it, man.
Yeah.
I'm really not, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why when we get there.
Okay. So
Barbarian build. All right, so now we're at number 2, right? Number 2 is not complicated, but I cannot decide between these two, and one of the reasons is because they have some similar parts. I'm looking at them right now. Scapular and Keltis. And I cannot. Yeah, I mean, Keltis is something about the coloring and that armor that I'm just like, it don't even have anything to do with the fact that he's like a Skeletor tribute. I just think that's a really just cool looking. There's no shortage of skeletons in the line, right? So like a lot of them could kind of like start to feel the same. He just feels very different than all the other ones that are there. But something about Scapular is like very classic 80s D&D to me. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I don't know. It's
so
hard for me.
Scapular and Keltis are kind of right there at the 1 and the 2.
They got to duke it out in the arena or something. Yeah, I don't know. If I had to sell one, I don't know. I don't know which one.
Now, I don't know if you know this, and I forgot to say something to him when we were at Legion's Con. I think I meant to, but I got a Keltis from somebody, I think maybe it was somebody on the Cabal.
Okay.
And it was missing a blue head and a purple sword.
Dagger.
Yeah. Or a purple dagger. So I had it for a little while, and I was going to do something with it, and I said, screw it. So I ended up selling it. And I think I sold it to some guy named Sean. then Sean
over there, yeah.
And then Sean ends up trading it to you, I seen on the Cabal. And then what was funny, this is what was funny, because I told Mike this, I go, when I had it, I went on the Cabal and I go, I was new though. I literally, it was like my second post ever. And I go,
this is great.
I go, does anybody have this purple dagger and this alternate or the blue alternate head?
Going with that.
And I got one like, it was like crickets, like, and then I see you do the trade with Sean, and you're like, hey, does anybody have this blue head? And people are like, hey, I got blue heads everywhere. I got purple daggers. I got everything for Mike.
That shows you how much you love.
I love the Cabal, man. Listen, you mentioned it earlier. That's really it encourages me to send stuff out when because I know like sometimes like you really need a piece, and who the hell wants to go to eBay and like when I first started the line. Like before I really got to know anybody, remember I'm salty, I'm jaded from like other toy groups and stuff like that. Not that I was like a jerk in there or anything like that, but I'm like, listen, the toy game is hard, you know what I mean? So if I bought a couple figures for customs and I had extra pieces, I went to eBay too. I'm like, I got to make money back somewhere. And let me tell you, I needed a sword. Like Big Bad Toy Store sent me a Lucretia and she didn't have her sword. And I put out an In Search Of in the Cabal, and I was willing to pay for it. I was going to spend $25, $30 on a sword. That's fine. I need one complete. And somebody stepped up and they're like, yeah, I got it. And I was like, all right, well, how much? He's like, no, it's free. I was like, well, how much is the shipping? He's like, I got your shipping. And that just like opened my eyes. I was like, wow, that was really nice. But then it happened again because I needed another piece from somebody and I was ready to pay money. And they were like, no, don't worry about it. It's stupid to pay money for this. And they mailed it to me. I was like, oh, this is that kind of community. So I was like, I'll just fall in line too. I took all my stuff off eBay and was like, here you go. Just if I don't need it, then somebody else I know is going to appreciate it. And we just keep it going that way. And that positivity breeds positivity. And I think that's why our group is so different than so much of the other like toxic stuff out there.
You know, my first experience with that was Dennis Derby giving me a Delta Guard head. Not the Mercurian head, but the Delta Guard head. And it may not be the most sought after. I know most people display it with the Mercurian head. But I got one with the no painted eyes, and I put it on there. He was like, I got one, you know, and I'm thinking, all right, I'll buy it.
Glorious. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
you do
I'll
that all
pay you the money. I'll ship it to me. Tell me whatever you want. I'll pay you. And he's like, whatever. It's free. And I'm like, no, I want to pay for it. No, dude. He's like, it's just laying in a tote. You know, like, here, just take it. You know, and I'm like thinking, dude, this is like,
Yeah, it's so cool.
I go,
And
I was shocked.
because he really is like, he was one of the first people that I saw like doing that, but he was doing like on the content, like, oh yeah, I got this Borgus sword or something like here, and he was just sending. I'm like, wow, all right, like that's super helpful, and it's inspiring, man. It makes you want to help other people too.
Yeah, Walter Hagen.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for I think an XL of those Nate Bart shirts. One of the shirts he had for the Equidron shirts.
Oh, okay.
And I think I asked, and someone said, "Yeah, I got one." I was like, "Well, what is it?" And they're like, "I'll just send it to you." I'm like, "Dude, come on!" Like, I appreciate it. Like, I want to pay. Then it makes you want to do something good back too in the community.
It really does.
You know, it's contagious.
Like, oh well, how? Like, is there anything I could do for you? Is there anything you need? Like, let me know. I'll send it. And they're like, nah, man, just pay it forward. So that's usually what I tell everybody else. Like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, dude, just like help somebody else out. Like, when somebody asks a question because they're new to the cabal, like, don't jump in the comments attacking them. Like, answer their question or don't answer it, but like, just let new people be new and keep the positivity going. That's what's going to keep our community growing and keep it positive and not one, a shit show.
I see you and me both commented on a post today. Was that what's his name? Gregorius?
Gregorius.
Gregorius, yes. He had
Tavich.
Yes, he did a post today, and I was like, dude, that was awesome. His post was great.
He went to midterm with us.
Yeah, the positivity on that post was great. I go, that's really what the cabal's about, posting, tagging each other and whatnot and stuff that you did. That was great.
The loudest in the room, right?
Stuff. What's that?
The negative people are usually the loudest in the room. So when you have somebody, it's like, listen, let's put some of the positivity forward. You're like, yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
I thought that was such a good post, man.
That was an awesome post. I really liked that. I thought that was cool. And I appreciate everybody who tagged me and stuff in there too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, same. A couple people tagged me on there. Thank you. Like, really appreciate you guys. I don't want to start listing people because there are so many. Like, I
know. That's how I was. I was like, man, it's just everybody's awesome. If we've talked or dealt with, you were going to be tagged.
You got one more on the list. You want me to name that before the number one?
Oh yeah, yes.
Sorry, man, I went off on a tangent there. Rhaegar. If my collection was gone tomorrow and I could only keep one, I'm keeping Rhaegar, man. That was like my real want.
So Scapular,
they're kind of two, like,
and
fighting.
Keltis are fighting for two.
They're fighting for one spot, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I think your one is awesome.
Rhaegar's fire, man.
He was one of those figures where Mike, we used to play this game. Mike would call me, go, what's your top 5 all the time? And I felt like it kept changing because I was getting new figures that I'd never had in my hand before. And Rhaegar was one of those figures that when I got in hand, I was like, dude, he just skyrocketed to the like top 5 like quickly. Like, he's up there. Like, it's like he's just awesome.
He's got my parts. His coloring is great. And like this piece is kind of common now because it came with Malifar, I think, and like those bat ears, like on the Barbarian. Just got the Barbarian re-release. But I remember like those pieces themselves weren't like, they were kind of rare, like they were hard to come by. And like, I don't know, just that on that helmet with the cloth torso and that color combo, it just, I thought that was so cool. Like, he's going anywhere.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I like all the tribute figures, like even Deltagar. I like his color scheme and everything. I go, those are always awesome. All right, Ryan Gonzalez is also a 2021 intern and a former Legion's Lair guest.
And a cool dude.
My favorite part of the show is the bio readings of the Arnold voice. Thank you, Ryan. You love it. I'll be here tonight reading Unkins.
So we're gonna want to now know your favorite faction.
This should be good because you had
Legion's faction.
Hands down, there's a close second, but number one is House of the Noble Bear. Yep. House of Noble Bear. Love the Barbarians.
There'd be a lot of people's. That's awesome though.
There's so many heavy hitters in there. Like if you look at my top 5, I mean, you got Rhaegar and the Barbarians were both in there. And then there's so many like hard to get figures. Like if that's the one you want to complete, like that's tough.
Yes.
It's expensive anyway.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll like
House of the Barbarian. So, you're a big Barbarian fan then, Mike? Correct?
I love them. That's my D&D character, a half-orc barbarian.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Now, what about race? What's your favorite race?
Orcs.
Or
For this, yeah, it's the orcs, man. I think they just have tons of personality. I gave credit to Vorthog before. I just think that's so great. And now the one that they announced for the Poxus Wave, that brute-sized shaman, and the fact that he's kind of the orc, I'm like, oh, they're adding diversity to it now. Like I think they're so cool, and they look great.
Tharnog, I think.
Yeah,
is
brute
his name.
scale
Yeah,
one,
brute
yeah.
scale. Yeah. Okay. The hot seat. Now, this is the question why we call it the hot seat. So, here we go. Starting with number 3, going to number 2, to your least favorite. We want your top 3 least favorite Legion figures.
All right, so I'm gonna preface. There are no Legions figures I do not like. Okay,
Yes!
so on the
Good answer.
but that doesn't mean like I hate the figure. I'm still selling all of my other collection, okay, before I sell my least favorite Legions. Okay, just so we're clear on that.
Well, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
We agree. There's really no bad
Absolutely.
figure.
Now my number 3, and I'm totally gonna lose friends over this, so I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna know some of the friends I'm talking about right away. Hagnon.
I agree with you,
Specifically
Foster.
Blue. Blue Hagnon is my favorite Legion, thanks to this All-Stars wave. You guys with your votes and your posters, Cullen, I'm talking to you, sir. Okay, love you, man. But Hagnon wouldn't have been on this list if it wasn't for you guys. He's not.
Probably
He's not.
really would. It really wouldn't. I think Hagnon wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Colin. But like I said, I told Colin I was going to vote for the first. I said I'd vote for him, and I did.
You did. I gotta go, guys.
Round.
It's been fun.
Look, the first round. I didn't say I was going to do it the second round, because the second round, when the rubber met the road, I couldn't do it.
The rubber
and I had to let.
Like.
Yeah, I had to let the real leaders go, and I kind of wanted Azar.
I did too.
It
But
makes sense because if you have any little PD in you, then you kind of want the yellow demon, right?
well, I thought the yellow demon would go good because we just had the Poxus wave, so we're getting Azar, and I felt like he's what everybody needs to get all 3. But then some people are like, well, we don't need 3, we just need him now, and it's like,
Curtis, and he'll probably chime in if he's still watching. He was like, we don't need him. We don't need the yellow demon. We're getting Azar.
Yeah, I know. I felt the same way. I'm like, but
I need that yellow demon.
I have him, but I felt like other people need him as well. If you're gonna have all of
I
them.
like him a lot. He was one of the ones I kind of like had to come out of pocket for a lot, and I was still like, I'm not gonna be mad if he makes it in. And I probably wouldn't even have bought another one. Maybe I would have bought one. But
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who's a completionist, like if you have the blue one, you kind of need the yellow one.
Yeah. Well, to me, displaying them would be great to have the 2 on each side with the one in the middle, or to have something, or to have them together, to know that them together makes this. I don't know.
And from a photography perspective, like if you like taking pictures of your toys, like I know, like when that wave drops, like people are gonna do. I mean, somebody's gonna do the two of them forming the big one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna.
I want to see it.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna be the one to be able to pull that off, but somebody's gonna do that, and it's gonna.
Someone like Nate Strong, Trevor Williams, they'll fill that.
Somebody that could tell a story in a photo. They're going to do that. And also, somebody had commented, getting off of the demons real quick, back to Hagnon. So I forgot who commented this, but they were like, he smells like a Payless shoe store. And it's so true. His plastic, I don't know if it's because it's that clear plastic. It has such a weird, like, strong chemical odor that I'm like,
What is that?
Curtis Ackerman says he lives in a blue house with a blue window. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of felt like, I guess I thought he had a blue tint to him, but he doesn't. I guess he is white, so they kind of will look the same, right?
yeah,
Until
they're
put
going
them under the light.
I think. I mean, again,
That's the. I thought they had a blue tint, but I guess it kind of doesn't.
I think they look the same until they're under the light, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you know how they have that half non, which is like half green, half blue.
Yeah.
I think they're under the impression that that's how the plastic is going to look. And again, somebody from the studio can correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
it looks like that. Regular Hagnon doesn't look like that. So I think it's the glow. And for me, like, I could put a Hagnon underneath a blue light. He's going to glow blue.
Yeah.
It's really very simple.
I like that dude on the Cabal that's dyeing them. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Have you seen that? The guy dyeing them?
Sure.
What Greg Miller did? With using the Hagnon parts? He made a custom Marvel's Vision from the Avengers. And he's got, if you pay attention, he used Hagnon parts and he like faded the paint so that it goes from clear to solid. If Vision's like phasing.
It's badass.
I think I did see that. Did he airbrush that?
I have no clue.
Oh.
Okay.
I asked him and he said, I can't give away all my secrets, Mike. I said, fair enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that to me, that's awesome.
Number two,
I guess the Iron Knight Legion builder. To me,
yeah.
And it's cool, man. Like I like using. I've used it in a couple different photography things. It serves its purpose at an original Legion builder price. It's a great figure. At aftermarket prices, even anything above $50, I have a hard time justifying it because they have that deluxe female knight builder that I feel like you just get so much more for your want to build a female knight. Like the Iron Knight is cool if you want to build a second deluxe knight and use the extra torso from the deluxe set. Like I did that. I ordered one just to be able to just take apart and build a second deluxe. Other than that, I mean, she's a little plain, and a lot of the builders are, but she's just, you know. I like Faustia better than I like her. I like Magda better than I like her.
Yeah, I feel you.
Number one.
All right. The one that I'm missing to complete the line, which contributes to this, for a lot of the same reasons as the Iron Knight, the Silver Knight Legion builder.
Okay.
Not justify that guy's price right now at $150, $200, $250 for literally the most plain Jane figure, when I can go and buy the same figure with a better paint job like Sir Owain for $550. I got a bunch of Sir Owains I didn't even open yet. How am I going to go drop $150 on this Silver Knight just to say I completed the line?
That was me with the Sir Godfrey, because he's real basic. I mean, he basically is a Templar.
He has different pauldrons, man.
and I think I was sitting there going,
I
just have to do it.
I think for a long time, like Sir Godfrey, I was like, I'm not going to do that. Is it worth it? I was like, I got the extra gold apps on but he's got even more gold on him than the builders that had the extra gold too.
Yeah, he's a little. If you get up close, he is a little different. But I mean, if you stood him next to another from a distance, I mean, you could just say, oh, they're the same, until you're like, oh yeah, they just got the trims and the whatnot. But
to me, he's got my favorite pauldrons in the line. I like that style pauldron that he uses, and it looks good on the Templar. He's got the more unique weapon, that mace that he comes with, and you could grab the plume from anybody else, I guess. You can take one from a Red Shield soldier, I guess, and put it on there.
And that from a lot, you made one. A lot of people just make one because it's very simple, I guess.
It is. But the thing, I was able to buy one of those cheaper than I could find a Silver Knight for right now.
Yeah, probably. I bet. That's
To me,
crazy.
it was just so whatever, man. I'm gonna be really mad if I spend that much money on a Silver Knight and then he's like in reinforcements 2 or something.
I
It's probably
think
what you should.
reinforcements too. You will get him in the
Yeah,
gold.
I was about
Knight.
to say if that's what you're waiting for, you're very wise too, because that
I don't know.
probably.
Like I would definitely trade for one if it was the right trade. And it's not like I wouldn't spend any money on it. I'll be the first one to tell you, like the man sets the price. I don't care. You know, if people are paying 150 for him right now, then that's what he's worth. I'm just not going to be the one to do it. So if I found like $80 or $100, I might bite the bullet on that. You know, like some of those Legion builders, the Gold Skeleton, the Gold Knight, they were the same price point. I know that they're still plain when you look, but something about that gold, there's just a little something extra on them. Like to me, they look a little more premium than the silver. You know, I would love to see that Gold Knight come out again, guys. I would love to army build that for this year's Necronominus wave. Like I think
Dude,
that would be awesome.
if the Gold Knight and the Gold Skeleton aren't in the next reinforcements, then I don't know. Because I swear they were going to be in this one. Because everybody was on the Cabal, like, I want this, I voted for this. And I swear it seemed like everybody voted for those.
And they're hard to find, man. Like they're really come by. Like I didn't even open the ones that I got for that because I'm like, they just kind of look cool on card. It's fine. It's not like I have a bunch of other Gold Knights. If I had more, I'd probably open them up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we
What
go.
do you got?
I got right here Peter Tong.
Peter Tong.
The Peter. My favorite is the Arnold impersonations.
Yes, thank you. Everybody loves Arnold. It's not me, it's Arnold. Yes. Arnold does all the work. He smokes all the stogies.
Next question, Mike, as I show them the Arnold custom here. Next question. If you could have a tribute figure made in your name, what current Mythic Legions parts would you use, partner? What would that figure be made of? Up of?
I think I kind of answered that one already. Like with the when I mentioned that Rhaegor was my favorite. It wouldn't be a carbon copy of that, but so I don't have a ton of customs, but the first one, and most of them are just kit bash. Like I'll paint a head if I have to, like a helmet. I'll paint feet. But one of the first customs I really kind of like put together. I'll just go to it now. I mean, you'll see it when I do the tour. But I got this knight right here made from a faunus. That's a Lord Viserys helmet, and obviously I put knight feet on him. I painted the feet. Like I just thought that was so cool. He just looks like a dragon knight to me. I love that's probably my favorite torso. You know, everybody loves that helmet. And again, at the time you couldn't find the ears, so like the helmet attachments, and those are like my favorite helmet attachments. So that was going back about 2 years. That's the first one I ever really did. So it's kind of like special to me.
That's cool. That cow roast was cool too.
But you know, they could totally make an orc with Borthos on it or something, and call it Sir Xavier or something. I don't care.
Nice, nice. So when customizing, you deal mostly in pop and swaps.
Predominantly, like I said, I don't have, so I don't trust myself to, like I wouldn't paint like an unhelmeted head. I just between flesh tones and I'm sure it'll just look like a mess by the time I'm done. So that's when I go to my friends that are much more talented than me, and I'm like, hey, do this.
Yeah, I tell you what, the popping and swapping so much fun. I mean, that's what the line's made to do.
Yeah.
Really. Painting just throws extra to it.
Oh, yeah.
But the popping and swapping, man.
It's
I mean,
awesome.
that's what draws a lot of people into the line.
That's what
customizing the popping and swapping.
That's what kept me in the line was the popping. So when I first started, I was like, oh, these are really cool. But I kind of just wanted legions to fill other roles and other lines that I was playing, like taking pictures of and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I did a lot of Marvel Legends stuff. I'm like, oh, goblins would go great with Thor. The skeletons, you know, that fits perfectly with that. I like the Legend of Zelda. Like I could use some armored knights and stuff like that. And then I really just wanted to cherry pick. And when I saw like, I don't know, like how you could just make a ton of other figures that you needed, I was like, oh, this is, I guess I don't really need this character over here, but those those legs look cool, and they probably look cool on this one. And that's really what kind of got me to stay. And then I started reading the lore, which was a mistake because I wound up really liking it. And I was now I'm in. Now I need everybody.
Well, this is a big question right here, my man. Can you take us on a tour of your Legions collection, your AKA Legions Lair?
Let's go on a tour.
Let's do
So
it.
I'm on the second floor. It's like an attic in my house. So it sounds so much worse, I think, in like video recording. Like my floor is a little creaky. It's not that loud in person, but if the creak is louder than I'm talking, then I apologize. And I had to break out some of the photography lights.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just because like my lighting's not the best up here. So this is where I spend the most time, is this little seated area over here. And Greg told me, he's like, Mike, he said, you're wasting prime Legion's real estate. And he has a point, but I need a place to hang out up here when I'm doing my thing. So
Yes, you do need that chair.
we got the art that you guys saw, the Nate Barch art. So the way I have this set up is when he releases the other two pictures, they'll go on both sides of that. And then eventually when all four of the horsemen are released, those figures I'll hang underneath. So I'll have them all carded on the wall beneath their artwork.
Nice. That's beautiful, man.
Some books and stuff, some non-Legion stuff here. Like I'm big on the Mafex heroes, a little bit of Hero Quest. I got some skeleton stuff going over here. So I'm real big on the dios too. Like I said, I don't know if you could really see them.
All pictures in your dials. I'm excited about that.
There's a cool little dungeon setup that I got, and I kind of I try to get as many of the name skeletons in here as I can.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got some kit bashes back in there too. You see that guy right back there is like Bash skeleton and a Vorthog.
That's awesome.
Got some goblins up here and just kind of hang
Mag.
mischievous thing. Also, if you see a figure on display in my room, that means he's a double. So I won't put up a figure if I only have one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have really weird OCD with like dust and, you know, like loosening up the joints and stuff. So if I have like a grail and there's only one of them, then I just keep them either in the packet in like a tote or something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
So this Detolf was full of nothing but predators. I know you can appreciate that, Brad, but they all got pulled to make room just for some Mondo Motu stuff that I got.
Now, were those quarter scale predators?
No, they were just the last little
Oh, okay.
just the regular NECA stuff. I used to have like the bone thrown in here, and I had you know, just a bunch of that stuff. I had the trophy wall with a bunch of them in here.
You still have that bone throne?
The bone throne I traded for a deluxe Night Legion Builder 1.
Jimmy Myers has one. I'm really tempted to buy it.
In the Cabal. That bone throne?
Yeah.
Someone in the Cabal had one the other day. I think that
Yeah.
they trade or sell.
It might have been Jimmy from
it is
Ohio.
Jimmy.
Myers has one. Yeah.
These Mondo figures are awesome, man. I have a bunch of them. I only got the two, but the scale is ridiculous. I don't really collect this scale either. But
Those are awesome, though.
yeah, dude.
Mike has those.
Yeah, they're great. They're worth every penny. You might recognize this guy. I'm waiting to see if he gets an All-Stars release before I open this one up.
He is.
Yeah, you're gonna see him.
You're gonna see him.
I got a Forest Troll down. He looks a little lonely, right? So when those game orcs come out, I ordered a bunch of them.
Yep. I'm excited for those too.
Yeah, those are gonna be awesome. Remember when I said when I started they didn't have any green orcs available? So when they announced those, I went way harder than I should have. We got the Legion's Con bust that we were lucky to get.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. If you went to intern for a day, you either got him or you got Magnus. The recent guys got that Magnus.
That Magnus is pretty cool too.
But it'd be a bitch painting the eyes.
Just a quick little bag of extra parts. And then you got the Rhaegor test shot.
Ooh, damn! Fire.
And you got an Urzok test shot.
Wow, those are big hitters right there.
Shout out to David Williams for the Raygor box that I needed for the display. And Melissa Somerville actually sent me the Urzak one.
Nice.
Don't let Rod Martin see those. He's collecting those.
Oh, I know. He's doing his thing, man. He's got some stuff there. I mentioned this D12 is all, like I said, I'm a big comic book guy. So
Okay.
I got a lot of like, stuff there. Some black and white statues. Nothing crazy. Some miscellaneous turtle stuff at the bottom. This is just kind of stuff that kind of like didn't really fit anywhere. So it kind of just like got lumped in there. And then these are where I keep some of the grails, man. Like they just get stored in here. I'll pull some out. Shout out to everybody in the cabal, Eric Miller, Zombie 13, Von Burke, Wolf, Mickey, and all those little swag things that we get. I just throw them up on there. And then this is how like I store like grails. I only stack them like 1 or 2, but you know you got your Godfrey in there. You got your Urzak, the Lair, Galaron. How do you say him? I probably butcher the names.
Yeah, don't show that to Eric Miller.
He loves.
Oh, he knows. He knows. He knows. This guy is killing people's wallets right now.
Oh,
Adamon.
yes he is.
Got his other head just kind of like floating loose in there.
Killing the wallets.
We got Ilgar. So sometimes I'll store the heads separate. Like if they don't really fit in the bag, like I don't want to like warp like the helmet attachments or anything. But some of you guys may be getting your hands on this guy soon.
Yep.
Multiple of them.
Yep.
If he wins, dude, I'm grabbing a bunch, and you know that patina on there, like it's like relic armor.
It's
so
like none other, really.
Yes. I agree.
This one's for Curtis.
Oh, I need
Yep.
that.
Need him. And then like this just keeps going, man. Orn. This was
He's pulling out some headers.
this was like one of my first trades in the Cabal. This was with Ryan Willard. I came across a second Vorgus, and we just traded straight up. Neither one of us had ever really traded with anybody before. We were both like super nervous about doing it, and neither one of us ripped each other off. So that's cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, there he is, the man,
Rhaegar.
and it's just it's a lot of the same. Yorin, your Asterion in there. It just keeps going, man. All those names. Heavy hitter right there.
Woo.
Ooh.
Woo.
Atlas in there. Gideon. You guys need a Gideon, although I think a version 2 is coming, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably one of the most underrated figures in the line, Calavius.
I just bought one of those from David Carbuca. If you're watching, thank you, sir. It should be on its way. I'm
Worth every penny, man.
With a Juno.
Yeah, I got a Juno too for him.
Worth every penny.
Yeah, I wasn't he an all-star vote last year? No. Clavius? No.
Clay.
Yeah. Might have been on the ballot. Some of those Advent of the Cave figures were.
Yeah.
But I don't think he got far at all because they had that restock at Big Bad Toys.
Yeah, they had so many other hitters in front of him.
Yeah, it was like right after that. All right. So, again, I'm sorry about the lighting, man. It looks better in person.
I like the diodes in the back there, yeah.
Let me start on this side with it. So I got my Aether setup is probably like the biggest one I have in the room with like the most on display. And you would think that they're like my favorite faction by the amount that I put on here.
Well, there's a lot of them.
But like the big bads, like they should have a massive horde, right?
Oh, yeah.
The custom Von Berg head there that he sent in Eric Miller painted it up, did a killer job. Hey guys, can you give me 1 second? I just got to go unlock my front door.
Yes.
I'll be right with you guys.
Did we want to do another card?
We can do that.
We can do another card.
We'll do another card. We got 2 cards left after this one. Ooh, our good friend Jesse Arnold. Jesse Arnold. Get it, Jesse Arnold. Says my favorite part of the show is the bottom 3 and the shelf collection tours.
Nice.
Those questions are hard. They really are, because when the line is so good, I think that's what makes it fun because, especially if you're a completionist, you're like when you ask me that question, I'm like, I don't know. Like that sounds kind of like it's like an oxymoron, kind of like it shouldn't go together. Like we're supposed to love this stuff, not hate it, right?
But
in reality, they're all amazing. You know what I mean?
But in reality, people do. Just because they say they're their least favorite doesn't mean they don't like them.
That's true.
At all. I think I will take
It's
another
Guillermo.
one.
Stay down there.
Guillermo. And look what he's saying. He's saying, it's black, and I'm scared of the dark. Jesus, I'm scared too.
Eric Lebron said.
Yes, that's our dude.
I love the diversity the show gives of all the different collectors in this community.
Yes.
We love it too.
That's
brother.
what it's about. It's about giving all the different people, finding out what they like, how they grew up.
Sorry
what they're
about that.
collecting now, how we got into it. He's back. Yes.
I'm back.
Now, I take it at your door was the UPS guy bringing another grail.
No, it was, my wife tried to do me a favor and get the kids out of the house while I did this. So she was at her. She had to come home. They got to go to bed. Got to go open the door. All right. So there's the rest of the Aerithur stuff that I got set up here. I'm big on the army building aspect, man. Like anything that's a builder, I like to build in like odd numbers. So 5, 7, 9. And then like a lot of those orcs back there, they're just like kit bash Vorthogs mixed around with a bunch of different stuff. That's an Urzok head. That was just the extra head that I just put on an Urzok body just to add some variation.
That's cool too.
My vampire shelf is looking very weak right now, but that's because I literally rearranged everything to get it ready for the Alethea wave release.
Yeah, I was about to say you gotta get prepared because that's coming up here soon.
Yeah, so I wanted to free up some space to put the new additions in there, and I could throw them on those steps. This was like a limited crash box that he did. I don't remember
I
if
was
he.
about to say, what the hell is that? Because that looks kind of sick.
Yes, it is.
That is Christopher Pinkerton's. They did. I want to say it was 10. It might have been 20, but I want to say they did 10 of them for was it G-Con or Legion's Con like the year before?
Now, is it just stairs or is it like an archway to?
No, it's there. So you got there's like an arch in there. There's space in there.
Yeah.
The floor was part of this.
Oh, really?
It's fire.
Shit, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is.
With the window.
And now, where did you pick this up at? Was this on their site or was this at a convention?
He put it on his site. It was like a limited time. Like, I think he told us how many there was too.
Wow.
And when they announced the Alethea wave, that whatever G-Con that was, remember they did like the whole virtual con thing,
Yeah.
and they had like panels and stuff.
Dang, you
If
got
and that was when everything went up there.
that's awesome.
All right.
Dad, I gotta take off my dress.
All right, mommy will help you, baby girl. Okay, go downstairs. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're
No,
good.
hey,
You're good. We have
not a
kids.
problem.
There's just some more miscellaneous. As the shelf before, there's just a couple of little kit bashes I did. Both of these, they're straight up Dork Lair ripoffs. Like he did them first, and very rarely will I copy somebody else's, but I just thought they were so perfect. I was like, yeah, man, I'm stealing that. Like both of those, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say when you showed that Kairos head, I was like, I swear I've seen it before, but it's so awesome.
Faunus might be my most sacrificed Legion. The amount of Faunuses I've purchased and like ripped apart, built other figures out of is just so
Beautiful paint scheme.
Beautiful.
I started doing these shadow goblins. I just started grabbing like extra heads from the Mephitor, I think is his name, right? And then Joshua signed for me.
That's the best.
And I'm gonna I want to get a couple of those like bloody NECA skulls from the Predators and just kind of like leave them on the bottom there.
Nice.
We got some red shield over here with a box of Valius back there. I don't know what you could see in here. But you got a bunch of red shield soldiers in there, some Magnus mixed in, a couple of Hadriana. That's for you, Mike. It says your favorite figure in the line there.
Nice.
Doing her thing. Me and Mike had a little discussion the other day too, and we were trying to figure out. I can't find in the lore where it says that she's part of Red Shield. So we're trying to figure out, is she part of the army of Leo Decius only, or is she full on Red Shield Knight?
That discussion.
Now though, you have her with the other head though.
Her secondary head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just matches perfectly. I mean,
now let me ask
put her right next to Magnus.
Is that head okay, or is it just?
Is that the Knight head?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Knight head's cool.
Okay, it's
her
a Red
Riding
Riding
Hood head.
See, Mike's okay. Okay, Mike's okay.
Can't stand her. There, we got to pan away from her. I'm about to throw up.
Yeah, I got it, buddy.
The blue.
So these are probably like the Legion builders I have like the fewest of, or these shadow elves. I think they're awesome. I grabbed that. That's that Hasbro Gwen that came with their Dritz figure. And, so this is it's not supposed to be Dritz, but it's kind of like a little homage. And I was like, he's one of my favorite, like fictional characters. So I just got in the front there. We got some more Poxus over here. I want to put Azar on display, but like I said, if I only got one, I won't put him out there. So Zazar kind of just sits in the front, and he's kind of just got like Torian and some Shadow Minotaur guards there.
I see some other Torian heads over there that look pretty awesome.
This is a custom bone throne.
Ooh.
I got back there.
Lebron has a question for you, Mike.
What's up, buddy?
Is that a Kalax bookcase?
This is actually a Target. What do they call it? If I think of it, I will let you know. It's not their base shelf. I think it has a name. It's like these bookcases. I think they're like in the $90, something like that. Got a little barbarian set up over here, which I've shown a lot of this in the Cabal before.
I was about to say a lot of this I've seen, but it's awesome that we're seeing it now.
Got Anthony Velez printed Noble Bear head there that looks like somebody you might know, and Eric Miller painted it up for me.
That does look like you there.
Nice.
I just got to get on a buddy. I got to Dremel it out a little bit too because it sits a little high on the peg for me. So I want to put them on a barbarian body actually. And then those are those Hasbro wolves, man. I think they scale perfectly. Yeah, everybody's got their own opinions when it comes to mixing different lines with legions. I don't like to do it a lot, but the Hasbro animals, I think they look pretty good with them.
No, looks great.
We got some more Dio stuff on the way here. This is some more Joshua Green from the Cabal. He does some really great work, some great detail. Ben Del Fuoco did this one for me. This one I'm going to wind up putting some more barbarians on there. Barbarians will be the most that I have on display easily, but I wanted something with snow, a snowy scene. He did that. It's another Josh piece, which I've shown in the Cabal. And shout out to Noah Pratt because he did these little lights.
Look, dude, he's good at doing that stuff too.
Yeah, he sent them to me after last year. I had grabbed them a mag. Here, man, thanks. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Very, very nice. We got the Suns.
Oh, yes. Scapular.
And it's another Josh Green piece back there, that well.
No, I was going to say it looks like a little wishing.
There's another little miscellaneous shelf for now. Just I haven't really done anything with it yet. The room is still really much a work in progress. And like I haven't decided full on like what kind of displays I want to do yet. But it's good. It's good to have room to grow into. That's a Byron Christie dio that I remember seeing when I first joined the Cabal, and it was for somebody else. Forced photos on Instagram. I think his name is Jake Leggett. Yeah, Jake in the Cabal. And he was selling it last year. So I was able to pick it up from him. I got my third least favorite figure back there, Hagnon.
Hagnon!
But, with the armor kit bash.
I was about to say, you got the armor on him, though. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, I love that look, man. The clear with Mike took the hat off. I just noticed.
Look, now we look. She look down, Michael. We look like twins. Bob brothers.
Look at that. I told you the hat was coming off.
Look at them. Nobody knew what he looked like under there.
It is gone for the summer. It will come back for Legion's Con.
Oh, Legion's Con exclusive, Mike Cat.
Now, there's not too much glare, is there? We're okay?
I'm sure we're shining pretty good.
Let me try to move these lights around. That okay?
Look, Marcus Hill, double glare. Yes, double glare.
These are Carver Customs. He does these stands. He is in the Cabal. Really, really nice pieces. I wound up liking these even more than I thought I was going to. So if you're looking for like something to like display your stuff in your details, like they're really, really nice. We got some boxed ogres, Urzak, the Tower. We got our Legion's Con Sir Gerard and the test shot. Oh, hold on. I got visitors again. What's up, Mama?
Good night.
Good night, baby.
Good
Love you.
night.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, my baby boy.
Where's the bed?
I'll see you later, okay?
I was going to say good
Look,
night.
Arnold says good night.
Good night, guys. All right. Then we just got like some D&D modules down here, that Mezco Conan, the Drizzt books, some other hard cover stuff back there.
Oh, I see the Sir Gerard test shot in the box too. Is that,
Yeah.
Is that,
Oh, dude. And like, thank you, Chris from the Horsemen, because mine actually came missing a pauldron. And I know that they're like as is. So I kind of just hit him up and I was like, look, if you can find one, cool. If not, I totally understand. Like, that's how we get them. He found me the missing pauldron.
That's awesome.
wait a minute, mine's missing pauldron. Well, not mine, not that one. The reinforcement package was missing the pauldron.
Oh,
Actually, it was missing the whole package.
Yeah, but
Of what, a test shot?
Yeah, the test shot one. That sucks.
You never know, man. I mean, I really didn't think that he was going to be able to come up with it. And he did, bro. You just...
Chris
got lucky.
probably left it in the back. He's like, oh, crap, they're right here.
Yeah, I'll take it, man, because now he's complete.
Hell yeah.
Let me turn on this other light. All right, some more Dio stuff here. On the Spec House from Ben Del Fuoco. These are my Templars.
Yes.
So these just try to do as much variety as I can. Nothing crazy. I mean,
That's
That's regular.
That's cool.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Legion shop head back there.
Dude, I'm sorry. I might steal that. I might put that Jaguarian on my tail.
Listen, make sure he's got the tail too, man.
Oh, yep, he's going to need the tail, huh?
So you're going to have to switch out that butt piece.
Switch out the butt plugs.
What do they call that? The boom boom.
The boom boom. Get
Boom,
you a
boom,
boom
boom.
boom hole. Just down boom boom.
Alberto.
Hey, it's Thistlethorn. Well, I forget what my wife calls him. 2D troll face.
Thistlethorn. Didn't Travis Bowles call him Snitchel Snatch? Snitchel Snatch.
I'm sure his name gets butchered left and right. And Noglin Shrine.
Noglin.
Noglin. Did you guys say Noglin or Noglin?
Noglin.
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 Thank you, King Noglin.
Now he look. That one,
This has the Max Bird soft goods on it.
oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to Curtis because he actually sent that to me. Like that was actually how I got to know him. And he sent that to me like shortly after getting to know him. So I thought that was really nice of him. He had an extra one. He's like, I got you. So thank you very much. He may not have wanted the Yellow Demon, but he hooked your boy up. So
Nice.
and just some more like Dio terrain and stuff.
Oh, that.
This also I think is one of the most like underrated figures. Balam's just beautiful.
I love Balam.
Nate Strong says your Dio game is strong.
Hell yeah, it is.
Thanks, Nate. I wish I could take credit for most of these, but this is the work of some very talented people I've gotten to know because of this community. I love this fountain. I got this from Josh. It was a Black Friday sale that he had back in like 2020, and I knew that piece was coming up. And as soon as he posted, I was like, mine, claim. Got the little wizard up there and stuff, and just some more miscellaneous, just stuff that'll get filled in over time. Some thrones and Just some background. Got there's those Four Horsemen turtles I was talking about.
Oh, yep.
Got them new in box. And then some sets to open down here. There's all my turtle stuff. I know most of these guys here don't care about these, but
Yeah, no. I love turtles.
I'm a big turtle guy, so I try to get as much of this stuff. They get a corner of the room. Like 90% is Legions, then they get like this one little corner belongs to them.
Yeah, I collect all the NECA movie and oh, there you go. I've seen
And
that.
then I got inspired after intern for a day when I saw that wall, and I was like, all right, well, let me take as many new in-box figures as I can get and start putting them up here. So most of these are brand new and opened. I think I have 3, maybe 4 that are repacks.
Clavian.
So you got your Bogoblin, Calavian. There's that Gold Knight. That's a David Karbolka Gold Knight that I purchased from him. Just left them sealed. We got a gold skeleton with the backward skirt piece. We got Gorgo I repacked. Fairly recently too. Some Malleus. Got another inbox also.
Man. Some hitters.
Ignatius. Valgard. He was an early grail that I picked up. Inbox Scapular. Thank you, Rod Martin.
Rod.
He hooked me up
Right.
with one too.
Yeah, he's like the savior of the Legions community, man.
Yeah.
He's got some goodies. Thord. There's that Dre Leon we talked about.
That's an awesome figure.
Etheron.
So is that.
Baron Volger. That is so this Templar is really only up here because he's got the gold accents and he's kind of place holding till I can get another new in-box grail. But I kind of like having one boxed up. Balam. Balam or Balam? How you guys say it?
I say Balam.
I say Balam too.
Brother Mandibulus. Calavius. And these are all new. Kauros. Delphina. Faunus. Hera. Uno.
Yeah.
There you go. Who should technically be the best dwarf, but he gets edged out by Thord. Noglin, Nubnik, Lucretia. So it's like all my Advent stuff. Snag, Thistlethorn, Lord Vateris, a new box Peltis that I paid out the ass for, and Coliseum Orc. And then you got just some horses. Eventually I'll have all the horses up on his top shelf. And shout out
Williams is asking, are you doing this in alphabetical order or is it by waves?
So it's very loosely, like you could tell, like the top row, it goes original Kickstarter, although I think 1 or 2, like the Bogoblin is the all-star version. It goes from there to like the Ethron's Dozen wave, Covenant of Shadow, Advent of Decay, and then into Coliseum a little bit. I wanted this 2-pack. I wasn't around for the pre-order, and I was looking like forever, man. And Anthony Velez like hooked me up big time. So thank you to him.
Van Johnson says, let's see those NECA Richard Simmons.
I keep a bunch of my pins up here for now, so I need to find a better home.
Now,
for the pin.
did you order a 2-pack of the Alithia horse?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, I missed out on that, so I'll be searching for one of those.
Yeah, I feel like I think when this one went up, I don't know if a lot of people knew that it was going to be packaged this way,
No.
so they might have ordered less, and I think the cat was out of the bag
Yes.
by the time the other one might have went up. So I mean, definitely by the time Poxus went up.
Yeah, I was not hip to either one of those until later on. But I'm hip now.
Lauren Jones wants our executive producer wants to know, what's your day job, Mike?
I'm in law enforcement. So
Nice.
got some more test shots here. I don't really have a home for these guys yet. We got a Fury Orc,
Okay.
Lord Viserys,
Yes.
and my favorite orc there, Vorthog.
That's nice.
So that's a recent addition. And I just got some Motu stuff here. Miscellaneous. That's it. Four Horsemen, sculpted Snake Mountain.
Hell yeah.
Revelations figures. I kind of just cherry picked the line. I don't like the heads on these figures at all, but there was a third-party sculptor who made some much better looking ones.
You get any of those Revelation figures?
He-Man and Skeletor.
He-Man, Skeletor.
They just looking at some of these heads, man. They look so much better than the ones that were coming on there. Like he don't normally look like that.
Yeah. I would say that looks different.
And then pretty much it, man. Some more D&D stuff down there, and that's it. So when I hang out on the couch, this is kind of just like the layout of the land for me.
That's awesome.
Man, that
And
is.
then when I hang out up here, there's actually a playroom for my kids over here.
Okay. So
My son also displays,
that's awesome.
and they just they hang out in here while Dad does his thing.
Hey, my son had that over there, that Gorilla Monster Garage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. He
hell of a
loved
figure.
it.
I mean, a hell of a set. It's massive.
Yeah, he actually had every parking spot filled up with every car at one time. It was.
How many of them did you step on, Mike?
Yeah, he had quite a few. Actually, that gorilla, he broke that gorilla, and somehow he broke it off, and somehow I was able to take it all apart and fix it, so it would go back up again. I don't know how I did it. Don't ask, but I did.
Oh wait, which guy said you have the set? Oh, so I wasn't looking when I heard you. I thought
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Brad.
yeah, my son. He totally ripped that gorilla right off, and I'm like, it was literally like he got it for Christmas, and it was like 2 weeks later, and he was running across the living room, and we still had it there, and totally ripped the gorilla off.
My
Total surgery.
Yeah, I love the setup of your room, man, because it's similar to mine, other than you have a lot nicer stuff. You have a lot nicer stuff. But I have a chair in mine where I'll go down to the toy room. Mine's in my basement. I'll sit there. I have a little ottoman. I kick back. That's where I listen to Mythic Conversations. That's where I listen to Legion's Lounge. And that's my spot. And I'm surrounded by all the Mythic Legions toys, and it's just zen. Man, that your room reminds me of that.
It's kind of like you just said. It's your place of zen. So like on my day off, like I'll come up here. My kids will go play in there. I'll sit down with a book, or I'll start tearing open like one of my figures, put my stuff on display. My son helps me all the time, man. He loves talking about this stuff. I know it's killing them to not be able to come up here and see what I was doing. I know it.
Now, how old is he?
He'll be 6 next weekend.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's a fun age. That's a fun age.
Yeah, my son's 9. He likes to look into my cabinets and look into my. I mean, he's like into it.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I'm afraid of the day when they won't care about it no more.
Yeah.
So I'm picking it up.
Can we ask you to answer some questions from the comment section?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is the time, guys. Hit us up with some questions, and Brad will read them.
Rigorous McTavish says, Mike, do you have a name for your room?
I just call it the geek room. My wife calls it the geek room.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah.
It's the geek cave.
I'm a self-confessed geek, man. I say it proudly. I feel like I'm gonna sound like such an old guy right now. Like these kids have it so easy now. Like being a geek is cool, right? Like it's pop culture between the comic stuff being mainstream movies, and it doesn't have nowhere near the same stigma as this stuff did. Listen, try being 14, like when we were 14, being like, oh yeah, I bought toys this weekend.
Yeah, it's a little more accepting, I would say, nowadays.
Yeah, I never hid that. I've always proudly said it. But my first time actually going out on a date with my wife, I was like, yeah, so my spare time, I buy comic books and toys. What's up?
Yeah, you say that now. People are like, that is really awesome and cool. If you said that like 10 years ago, they'd be like, dude, you're a dork.
No, I did. That's exactly. We
You're
together. 10 years together in July. And
Yeah,
that was
so
exactly what I said to her.
That's awesome.
The man in the $1 million suit himself has a question for you.
This.
Jonathan.
Oh.
Don't it? Yeah, and he is another one of the interns. He says, what is your favorite non-mythic Legion figure?
My favorite non-mythic Legions figure? It's probably those NECA turtles that I showed before, the Mirage ones, Four Horsemen did. They're to me, they're just like the perfect embodiment of what those toys are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And they articulate very well.
Jonathan also says very organized, but still looks fun. I would agree.
Thank you.
It's like it looks like you have them. They're set places for stuff, but it's very well set up, and you can get to it.
I try, like my life is such chaos with the kids sometimes. So like the rest of you're just always picking up after kids. So my OCD like kind of runs crazy when it comes to my personal stuff.
Okay. Curtis Ackerman says, do you feel bad imprisoning those grails in the drawers?
No, not at all, because they do come out. They come out for pictures. I take them out all the time and I mess around with them, but I keep the dust off of them. They're well loved. They're very well cared for. They're not in a bin like in my attic or basement somewhere where I don't see them. I'm constantly taking these things out, man. Like I got them all on the floor right now. I'm really looking forward to going over there and putting them away because I'm just going to take them out and mess with them again.
Van Johnson. He says, X-Man, how many of your grails can I get for a reasonable price?
I tell anybody, reasonable is what is reasonable to the person. When someone says reasonable price, they're not asking you for free. They didn't say retail price. They said reason.
Yeah.
So to them, maybe reasonable price is $300-$400. Maybe that's more reasonable than going on eBay and spending $800, which one is never sold for.
Yeah.
So I don't really get I know some people get offended when they see people asking that. You got to shoot your shot, dude. I wouldn't have any of these if I didn't go in the cabal and say, hey, is anybody selling, an Otho or something?
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, that's a good point. I think maybe we should be a little nicer to some of the newer cabal members. They don't know. And they're not all scalpers. I mean,
yeah. Dude, like it's gonna like sour them. Like I could totally understand if somebody comes on there and is like, well, can somebody sell me, an Otho for you paid $50? Like,
yeah,
you don't. They're coming on, they're saying a reasonable price. So like, don't bend them over the table. And if you don't, then don't say nothing.
And like the one guy had a point. Our friend Jimmy says, sometimes if I go to eBay, I know some of the cabal members are eBay sellers as well, or they have an eBay accounts that they sell stuff. He says, sometimes I ask if they're in the cabal, somebody on eBay, and usually he goes, a lot of times there is. He goes, and then somehow we'll make a deal outside of eBay. He goes, I've done different things. So I go, yeah, you got to shoot your shot sometimes and figure out, if you want a deal here or there.
If you're starting late, like where else are you going to get these things?
Yeah.
You're right. Nate Strong.
Somebody's not getting mad at you for not selling it for original retail.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Let them ask.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let me tell you one story, and I think this might change the way you look at it, because this is the kind of people we have in the cabal. So before I even owned the scapular, I was looking for one, and I put out an in search of post. Does anybody have a scapular? I don't think I named the price. I didn't say give me a reasonable one, but I said, does anybody looking to get rid of a scapular? And one of the guys in the cabal, he's like, oh, I got one. DM me or I'll DM you. So we message each other, and he's like, well, what do you want to offer? So I told him, I said, look, this is what it's selling on eBay. I was like, this is the most recent sales. I was like, can you knock off the 10% eBay fee? And then like, I'll pay the rest. Like that to me is a reasonable thing, because I'm not paying tax on it, because I'm not on eBay. You're paying their price plus tax. So we're both kind of making out.
Yeah. You're not asking for free.
No, not at all. So I think my original offer that I made to him, he countered me. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And he countered me lower than what I offered him.
Wow.
Dude, he hit me back like $80 less than what I was even offering him.
That's
so
awesome.
to me, like, that's the positive. Nobody owes you that. Like, he didn't owe me that.
No, exactly.
But that was a nice thing to do. Yeah, let these people like if I would have told you that today, like, hey, listen, you know, maybe somebody will offer you one for lower. It's probably not going to happen, but it could happen. Like, don't tell somebody like nobody's gonna sell you a snack for $80. Get out of here. If I had one more, I'd sell it to them for $80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not, and I'm still making money on that. Like that's not even me being a nice guy. So you don't know. Let people ask if anyone's got them for sale. As long as they're not demanding, oh, yeah, give this to me for free, or like getting shitty about it afterward.
Yeah. Then we can all come out the woodwork and hammer that person.
Yeah.
Hey,
We've all of us have been there. Unless you started this line from day one, which some people have, you know, all of us came in 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Whatever it is. And we either went to eBay and paid full price, or we asked the cabal, is anybody selling one? Is anyone selling a Balam? Is anybody selling you know what I mean?
Nate Strong's asking your favorite Dritz character that isn't Dritz.
Probably Bruno.
There we go. I don't know who that is, but who?
He's a dwarf.
Nate does.
Dwarf. He's very gruff and he's tough, and he's awesome. He's a good time.
Nice.
Let's say Ray says, Mike, what's your favorite comic run?
Favorite comic run? That is a tough question. Probably, I would say Unmatched is Chris Claremont's run on the Uncanny X-Men. He wrote that book for like well over like a long time, like decades. Like he's got so many issues, and so everything was really cohesive with it. Nowadays, like they're constantly rebooting franchises. There's like a new issue like every couple months. This guy, when he took over that, I mean, he made that his own book. So it's not 10 issues, 5 issues. It's issues. Like it just goes and goes and goes. That's probably my favorite.
Gotcha. Yeah. Noah Pratt says his favorite is probably Jarlax.
Oh yeah. We spoke about that. So I'm not as far as him. We have some Dritz, some conversations, some debates going on with some of the characters. I won't bore you guys with it if you ever read into the books. But I'm taking issue with some of the characters in the books. But I'm not surprised to hear him say that.
Eric LeBron says, what are you most excited for at Legion's Con 2022?
Seeing all you beautiful people.
Yes, that was a good answer.
Yeah, that part. That was the surprisingly most awesome part of Legion's Con. We knew we were going to see the figures. To be able to get along with everybody that well and hang out and drink with everybody, just have a good time. That was awesome.
Rich says, I know your name is a homage to the X-Men. Did you get rid of all the legends?
No. I still have. I got rid of a couple that I might not have cared about. There's a lot of like obscure figures that I might not necessarily need, but I still got a lot of them. I'm an X-Men guy. I kept all my X-Men. I kept all my Spider-Man stuff.
Grigoris says, Mike, what's your best tip for a new collector, and can you do it in your best or worst Arnold impression?
I'm no Brad Jones, but I'll try my best. You have to have patience, and don't expect anything or anybody to do anything for you, and just be appreciative when it happens. And the older figure, they'll come out and be re-released in all-star waves. Now I've gone like far Eastern European. I
love it, bro. Yeah.
Just be patient, man, and you'll see it. If they don't get re-released again, then they'll do the version 2s.
Yeah.
I know when you come into the line, like there's so many figures that you want, and like I'm not gonna wait. Like nobody wants to wait. But I get mad when a figure is like $300-$400 or even a $35 figure for $100. Like let's be honest, that's a lot of money, you know. So it is a little heartbreaking, I think, to want to get all these things and not want to have to spend that money, but just hang around. Like nobody says you have to complete the line in a year. To be honest with you, I think I'm an idiot for doing what I did. No offense, Brad, because you did the same thing. I think we started around the same time. You know, we done, you know, Casper.
driveway. That's what I really should have. I should have a real nice sports car out this driveway.
Yeah, like I'll never tell anybody like what I did was smart, but it's what brings me joy. I say as long as you're
There
not
you
hurt,
go. Yeah, no regrets.
you know?
No regrets. No
Yeah.
regrets.
Like if you're paying your bills, man, like I'm not a party guy, dude. Like I'm not out even before COVID. It's not like I was like going to work and then going to the bar after. I'm coming home to my family.
I
So
feel, yeah.
this brings me joy. My bills are paid. My kids have everything in the world they could possibly ask for. So like I just do what you can do and just wait in the meantime. Don't feel the need to compete with anybody else. You know, like, oh, I always see people throw the numbers there a lot of times. Like, I've been doing this for, 2 months and I've got 60 something, 300. Listen, that's awesome. If you have the means to do it, don't feel like you have to keep up with that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's means are different. If you have $300 to spend and you want to buy $300 worth of multiple Legions figures, knock yourself out. If you want to put it toward one grail, go ahead. It's whatever's going to bring you the most joy. Just don't be mad when that $300 grail that you bought is $35 in the next All-Star wave, because that is also a very real thing.
Because it could happen.
Right. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to spend the money on the figures, then you also have to live with the reality. You might see them again. And, that's just a better opportunity to grab a bunch of them for cheap.
You want to hang out with us for just a little bit more and review Unkin with us?
Oh, man. I got him standing by.
Let's do Unkin. Unkin is amazing. I'm trying to think if he was my first Motu figure or not. I think he might have been. I will say it, damn it. He was the first Motu figure I got. Unkin, Legion of Aether. His race is Orc. His role is Weapon Master. Released the Mythic Legions 1.5. He was also available as an early release at the PowerCon at the 2016. Probably out in California, where I was governor. He comes with mace, with handle, dagger, bone knife, no additional heads. They could have gave me an extra head. It would have been nice, but that's okay. All right.
He's the only one to have an additional head, right? For the Motu tributes?
Yes, he is. Yep.
All right. Every army needs an arsenal of weapons to carry them to victory in battle, and the Legion of Aether is no exception. A secret weapon in his own right. Unkin is the Legion's master weaponsmith, a veteran of some of the Legion's bloodiest battles. His expertise has been forged in combat, determined to supply his brethren with the tools necessary to achieve supremacy. Unkin's ongoing quest involves supplying the Legion of Aether with the deadliest weapons once can imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, Unkin is the first Motu tribute.
You guys need like an applause track that you could play in the background. When you put the...
So, Mike, what do you think of Unkin?
I mean, right off the bat, I think like a lot of them, there's more to meets the eye in person. Like I feel like cameras don't pick up like a lot of the flake in the paint.
No doubt.
I mean, I was lucky I grabbed him before this explosion for like what he's selling for now. He wasn't cheap, but he wasn't like what he is now.
I actually sold one, and I wish I had. Thinking I'm a dummy.
I mean, I'm big. I'm an orc guy, so like there was no way.
That's your brace.
Yeah, there was no way I wasn't gonna not have this guy. If he broke or got that, like I'd love to buy another one. To be honest with you, just have a secondary one, so I don't gotta keep this guy caged up. But he's awesome. I love the color combo. These Motu tributes, I think when I first started, I was the least excited about them, and then my son out of nowhere got really into Motu with the release of like the Origins line, and I had a Motu since I was a little kid, and it sucked me right back in. So I was like, oh, I gotta grab all these. These are awesome. I'm real big on them.
Yeah, they are awesome.
What about you, Brad?
I'm so glad that they did that and did the tribute. My thing is a lot of with the Motu tributes, when I tell people that this is Four Horsemen's tribute to Masters of the Universe, their thing is it's always it doesn't look anything like it. And I'm like, well, yeah, it does, but I don't think it was meant to be specific to look exactly like it.
That's why they're allowed to do it.
Exactly. I go, so if you understand it, it makes more sense.
I think of it as like inspired by.
Yes. I go, so, like even Adamon, I go, somebody said, well, that doesn't look like He-Man. And I'm like, well, it's not supposed to look exactly like the He-Man that you're thinking of, I guess, is what I'm supposed to say. But
Right.
I love all the two tributes.
Yeah, if they were in that universe, that's what they might look like. Like that would be their version. I mean, their power same. I mean, this guy is not a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's not meant to be the same character.
Yeah. For me, I grew up with the original 8 characters of Masters of the Universe. So the apocalyptic attorney of the first 4 comic books. And this guy's fire because it's Mythic Legions and it reminds me of Man at Arms. So I'm loving him. I love the color scheme on their Motus because it takes me back. It takes me back to that golden time in my life. So he's just, and once again, he is an orc. He's not a human. He's an orc. It puts a different spin on it. Yeah. It's just cool.
It is.
He just spews coolness.
I like it. I love it.
Yes. We got one more card to read.
It's from the one and only Mark Houseal.
Mark Houseal.
He says, anytime I hear the Arnold impression, I giggle. Well, that is awesome. I guess people love Arnold. I'll keep doing the Arnolds.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that to you from now on.
Dude, you did a good job though, man. You did good.
You sounded like Indiana Jones' dad. Connery. Sean Connery. That was a great Sean Connery voice.
He did good though. Some people would be like, I'm not even gonna try. You did good. You did.
Got people what they want. I hope that my terrible impression didn't offend anybody.
Who back here said somebody? What I was trying to read. Somebody said Schwarzenegger or Stallone.
What's your favorite, bud?
That's a really tough question.
I'm trying to go back here to see who said that. Oh, Curtis Ackerman said that. Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
I don't know, man. I mean, they both have movies that are like on my like.
Rocky's up there.
They're on my dude. Rocky's one of my favorite movies ever.
I was gonna say Rocky's got to be up there with Rambo.
Absolutely. I still when I watch that. Like, how do you like? I don't know. Have you never like missed it up in your eyes like watching Rocky? Like it's emotional.
Who's somebody said Stallone?
One of my favorite movies.
I mean, yo, Adrian. I mean, come on. You gotta love Arnold.
Now, before we go, we gotta coax Brad into giving us a little Yoda. So before we do this, Brad, have Yoda tell us a little something about.
You want a review from Yoda? Unkin. The dark side is strong with him, it is.
That's great, man.
Look at his green little body. Kind of like my mom.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Man, Mike, we've enjoyed tonight, man. Thank you so much for willing to come on the show and taking us into your personal lair. It's not an easy thing for some people to do, and we loved every minute of it. Thank you so much.
I had a great time. Thank you. And actually to anybody who stopped in for any amount of time to watch, I appreciate that too. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back, read all the comments afterward. I have a really weird attention span, so I haven't been able to like read anything anybody's saying. So able to hold the show and to be able to actually follow along with the comments?
It's hard. Like when we first started doing the show, I mean, like stuff's coming in, and you watch other people's show, like Jeremy and stuff, and you think, oh, they're just. But then when you're here actually doing it, you're like, man, I can't. Sometimes you can't keep up.
I don't want anyone to think like I'm ignoring them or ignoring questions. I don't even have my comments on the screen. I like scroll them out of the way.
And I wasn't trying to chop up. It was funny because Iz Ramirez says his best part was me chopping up Guillermo's, but I was saying Guillermo. But I'm sorry if I have, and I was saying it for like 10 episodes. So, but he says it was the best part of the show. So do I keep saying? I guess I'll have to ask Guillermo if it's okay if I keep misspelling his name.
Probably going to tell you to say it however you want.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So now I can say it right thanks to Iz. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you.
And we want to, once again, like Mike we want to thank all the viewers, everybody who's catching it live, or if you're catching it on replay. Thank you so much. We love this community.
Yeah.
We want to keep this going. We want to interview as many people as we possibly can get to.
And you could be on the Legion's Lair next.
Yeah.
But good question. Who is next, Mike? Who's coming up in 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 10th, we have the one and only Curtis Ackerman.
Yeah,
is going to be in the Legion.
That's
Lair.
awesome. That's awesome. So I'm looking forward to Curtis too.
So
You guys need to do a whole segment about how much he hates Azar.
We'll have to tease him about that.
Yeah, we will. That's what's great. We learn stuff and then we can
we'll have to
intertwine
tease him, man.
That's cool.
Thank you so much, X-Man.
All right.
Everybody out there,
Everybody.
have a good night. Be safe, man. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Football.
Good night.
See you, Mike. Hit finish right there in the corner.